I live in an old apartment. My freaking toilet clogged. And I didn't even, look at your face. I didn't even use it for like a number 2 or throw up anything.
Right. Why would you be throwing things up?
Well, I try to stay thin and
Jesse.
anyway, so I wake up, this was like Tuesday, and I just go for my normal morning pee, and then the water starts rising. And luckily it stopped before the rim, but I'm like, oh, this is going to be an easy fix. It's happened before. So I get the brush out, like, because you try to like plunge it with the brush.
Okay.
Have you ever done that?
No, I have a story for you after, but go ahead.
So, and I don't have a plunger because I've never needed one, but the brush wasn't working. So then I'm looking online, I'm trying all these things, put shampoo, dish soap, nothing's working. So this, by the way, is on a morning when at 10 a.m. I'm having people come see the apartment because my landlord's trying to sell it. So this is like happening at 9 o'clock in the morning.
But it was just like pea water, right? There was no brown floaties or anything in it, was there?
I'm not finished.
Ah!
So all these remedies aren't working. It's full of hair conditioner, shampoo, pea water. So I'm like, okay, I got to go get a plunger. So dollar store opened at 9. So I'm at the dollar store. First dollar store I go to, no plungers. So I'm racing across downtown to another dollar store on Rideau.
I love how you, instead of just like going to maybe Walmart or Canadian Tire, you're like, nope, got to go to that dollar store. Even in moments of complete chaos, Jesse will still take the least expensive route.
You know what? You're right. Because I thought it would be closer to go to the dollar store that was on Rideau than all the way to Train Yards. And if you're in Ottawa, it might make sense to you. But anyway, so I wasn't thinking. I was in crisis. My toilet's overflowing. I've got people coming. Okay. Yeah, exactly. So then I get to the second dollar store. They had plungers. Buy one, get home, start plunging. And because it's from the dollar store, the freaking handle just punctured through like the plungy part.
That's what you get for being a cheapskate.
Yeah, so you're out another plunger. But at this point, it had plunged enough that it had kind of sucked some stuff up from deep within. So now there is debris and bits in the toilet with the pea water and shampoo and all this stuff. And I still got people coming to see the apartment. So you know what happened? It got to a point where it was too close to 10 o'clock and I was reserved at the gym for 10:02. I just put the plunger on top of the closed toilet and left.
Was it fixed when you got home?
No, but they hadn't moved the plunger. So I'm hoping that these people didn't.
Like they got the hint.
Yeah, like there's something wrong. But
so
anyway.
Do you know there's a little trick? You can lift up the back of the tank and you pull that chain that's attached, the chain, pull that.
The problem was there actually was a clog. So what happened was all day it didn't get fixed. I went and got a proper expensive plunger at Canadian Tire, but it still didn't work. There was something in the pipe. So my landlord had to get a plumber. The problem was he couldn't come until the next morning. So I had to go an entire day. But by the time I decided it was getting to need a plumber, it was like 4 p.m.
Did you pee in your shower?
Yes.
Ah!
Yeah. And we're just going to leave it there. But then the next day, so 24 hours, this toilet is like stewing, right? You could imagine the smell. It's starting to smell like a sewer because there's something really wrong in the pipes. The plumber gets here, and of course, it's the hottest plumber I've ever seen in my life. So I'm like so embarrassed trying to explain, I don't know what happened. I didn't even take a dump. And he didn't even care. He just, I don't know.
He's a plumber. He sees this shit every day.
Yeah, he chose this line of work, but he used some big long tool and it just pushed whatever the clog was through. So I said to him, well, what was it? Thinking he's going to lecture me on putting makeup wipes down the toilet or something. And we don't know what it was, but there was something really badly
clogged. You put your makeup wipes down the toilet?
I'm so bad. Don't start. My mom's already lectured me. Q-tips, Kleenex, makeup wipes. I didn't know. They don't teach this shit in school. How are you supposed to know? Now I do. I learned my lesson the hard way. So I bet you that's what it was. But I'm like, was it a dead mouse? What was down there? We'll never know.
You know, I had a friend that was living in the Byward Market. So again, Ottawa has like for those that aren't from Ottawa, Ottawa has like a lot of old apartments and it's an older city. So they were living in the market, and one day like there was like a big flood, like a sewage flood on the street, and there was just tampons everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And they were so devastated that they said to this day, they're like, she's like, I never flush a tampon now.
Yeah, you can't. There's a whole list, if you Google, of things you shouldn't, like Kleenex. I wouldn't have thought twice about Kleenex. But It's not made to break down the same way. And you realize if you've ever blown your nose with the toilet paper, it's like everywhere.
Well, I had kind of a similar incident happen, but it wasn't necessarily to me. I had a friend staying over at my house, and we are going to go out, and she clogged the toilet. And I don't even have a plunger. I mean, I'm a girl, and they're gross and dirty. And as for brushes, I have like those ones that you like clip the thing in, right? So I don't have like a physical brush I keep out. Like I have this little like brush thing that you clip it anyways. So I'm like, shit, like what are we gonna do? But we're about to go to the club. So like I was like, okay, maybe if we just like leave it, like it is what it is, you know? So we go to the club, and it was a friend's club at the time. It's no longer there. It's called Mansion at the time.
Oh God.
And we go drunk, so drunk, and we come home, and she's carrying this big plastic, like big garbage bag with her. And we get to my house. I'm like, what is that? And she whips out a plunger. She stole it from the club.
Oh my God. Ew.
So I mean, it was like, but it was like legit plunger. Like you could have like sucked the other side of the planet through the toilet, you know?
One of those black ones.
And it worked. And I just threw the plunger out right away.
Oh, that's the most disgusting plunger in the world, but resourceful friend.
Yeah. I laughed so hard. I was like, did you just fucking steal the plum?
And that's
what is plunger?
Oh, I wish I could have stole this plumber. Oh, and then when I was asking my guy what was wrong and all this stuff, like, of course he had a mask on, so he couldn't have been, maybe he could have been ugly, but he seemed really hot. And I was like making eyes at him, and I'm like, this could totally be one of those Samantha Jones moments. I've never had one of those in my life.
Jesse, I tell you this because I love you. You've been watching way too much Pornhub.